The definition of marketing research. Marketing research is the systematic and objective identification, collection, analysis, dissemination, and use of information for the purpose of improving decisions making related to the identification and solution of problems and opportunities in marketing. Several aspects of this definition are noteworthy. Why? First, marketing research is systematic. Second, the relevant information sources are identified and a range of data collection methods varying in sophistication and complexity are evaluated for their usefulness. Third, the findings, implications, and recommendations are provided in a format. A classification of marketing research. Our definition states that organizations engage in marketing research for two reasons. First, to identify, and second, to solve marketing problems. Problem identification research is undertaken to help identify problems that are perhaps not apparent on the surface yet exist or likely to arise in the future. Examples of problem identification research include market potential, market share, brand or company image, market characteristics, sales analysis, short-range forecasting, long-range forecasting, and business trend research. Once a problem or opportunity has been identified, problem-solving research is undertaken to arrive at a solution. The findings of problem-solving research are used in making decisions that will solve specific marketing problems. However, problem identification research and problem-solving research go hand in hand, and a given marketing research project may combine both types of research. The marketing research process. We conceptualize the marketing research process as consisting of 6 steps. Each of these steps is discussed in great detail in the subsequent chapters. Step 1. Problem definition. The first step in any marketing research project is to define the problem. In defining the problem, the researcher should take into account the purpose of the study, the relevant background information, the information needed, and how it will be used in decision making. Step 2. Development of an approach to the problem. Development of an approach to the problem includes formulating an objective or theoretical framework, analytical models, research questions, and hypotheses, and identifying the information needed. Step 3. Research design formulation. A research design is a framework or blueprint for conducting the marketing research project. It details the procedures necessary for obtaining the required information, and its purpose is to design a study that will test the hypothesis of interest, determine possible answers to the research questions, and provide the information needed for decision making. Step 4. Fieldwork or data collection. Data collections involves a field force or staff that operates either in the field, as in the case of personal interviewing, from an office by telephone, through mail, or electronically. Proper selection, training, supervision, and evaluation of the field force help minimize data collection errors. Step 5. Data preparation and analysis. Data preparation includes the editing, coding, transcription, and verification of data. Each questionnaire or observation form is inspected or edited and, if necessary, corrected. Step 6. Report preparation and presentation. The entire project should be documented in a written report that addresses the specific research question identified, describes the approach, the research design, data collection, and data analysis procedures adopted, and presents the result and the major findings. The decision to conduct marketing research. Marketing research can be beneficial in a variety of situations, but the decision to conduct research is not automatic. Rather, this decision should be guided by a number of considerations, including the cost, versus the benefits, the resources available to conduct the resources available to implement the research findings, and management's attitude towards research. Resources, especially time and money, are always limited. However, if either time or money is not available in the adequate amounts to conduct a quality project, that project probably shouldn't be undertaken. It is better not to do a formal project than undertake one in which the integrity of the research is compromised because of lack of resources. There are other instances that may argue against conducting a marketing research project. If the required information is already available within the organizations or the decision for which the research is to be conducted has already been made, or the research is going to be used for gaining political ends, then the value of information generated is greatly reduced and the project is generally not warranted. The marketing research industry consists of suppliers who provide marketing research services. Marketing research suppliers and services provide most of the information needed for making marketing decisions. The best organization for a firm depends on its marketing research needs and the structure of marketing and other functions. Although in recent years there has been a trend toward centralization and a trimming of the marketing research staff. Internal suppliers often rely on external suppliers to perform specific marketing research tasks. There are several suppliers to perform specific marketing research tasks. That is, external suppliers. External suppliers can be classified as full service or limited self-service suppliers. External suppliers are outside firms hired to supply marketing research data. These external suppliers, which collectively comprise the marketing research industry, range from small operations to very global corporations. Full-service suppliers offer the entire range of marketing research service, from problem definition, approach development, questionnaire design, sampling, data collection, data analysis, and interpretation to report preparation and presentation. The services provided by full-service suppliers can be further broken down into syndicated services, customized services, and internet services. Syndicated services collect information of non-commercial value that they provide to multiple clients on subscription basis. Surveys, panels, canals, and audits are the main means by which this data are collected. Customized services offer a wide variety of marketing research services customized to suit a client's specific needs. Each marketing research project is treated uniquely. Internet services are offered by several marketing research firms, including some that have specialized in conducting marketing research on the internet. Services provided by limited service suppliers are field services, focus groups and qualitative services, technical and analytical services. Field services collect data through mail, personal, telephone, or electronic interviewing, and firms that specialize in interviewing are called field service organization. Focus groups and qualitative services provide facilities and requirement of respondents for focus groups and other forms of qualitative research such as one-on-one depth interviews. Technical and analytical services are offered by firms that specialize in design issues and computer analysis of qualitative data, such as those obtained in larger surveys. Other services included branded marketing research products and service development to address specific types of marketing research problems. There are certain guidelines that should be followed when selecting a research supplier, whether it is a full service or a limited service supplier.
Selecting a research supplier. Firms that cannot conduct entire marketing research project in-house must hire an external supplier for more phases. For example, there's a small firm that needs one project to be done, to be investigated, to find if it's economically to employ an outside source or not. This firm may not have the technical expert to undertake certain phase of project. The next one is careers in marketing research. There are several examples such as operational supervisor. They supervising a well-defined offset for the project such as data, analysis, and coding, and many more. Project manager, they manage the research day-to-day with the operational manager. The research analysis is cross-checking all the data for accuracy. So what makes problem definition is important? Problem definition involves stating the general problem and identifying all components, so then the research can be done properly. The most mistakes truly happen not caused by the wrong answer, but the question is wrong. That's why problem definition is important. The next thing we will discuss is the tasks involved. There are 4. The first is discussion with the decision maker, also we call the DM. The second is interview with the industry expert. The third is secondary data analysis, and the last one is qualitative research. The first one is this discussion with the decision maker or DM. To identify the problem, researcher must possess considerable skill so they can interact with the DM. Problem audit needs to be provided too, so they can interact with the DM, and DM can find the underlying causes of the problem. For example, DM knows that the firm is losing market share, but they don't know the reason behind it. The researcher must provide the reason behind it, so then DM can do their work. Maybe the reason behind it is because competitors' superior promotion or something. The second is interview with the industry expert. Industry expert helps us to increase our knowledge about the industry, might as well help us to formulate the marketing research problem. If our knowledge has reached a certain point, then the interview can refer as if our knowledge has reached a certain point, then the interview itself can be referred as experience survey or key information techniques. Next is secondary data analysis. Secondary data analysis is a data collected not for research purpose but for other purpose. For example, information from business or government resources, commercial marketing firms, and databases. And the last one is qualitative research. If the information obtained from the DM, expert, and secondary data may not sufficient enough, therefore a qualitative research needs to be taken before the actual research. The case study is titled Harley Goes Hong Kong. So in 2007, the company Harley-Davidson became the most successful heavyweight company. They dominate the heavyweight market with more than 50% shares, and revenue exceed to $6 billion. Therefore, the next step the company will take is risk taking. Questions keep popping out like, would the demand follow the long run? Or would the customer stop wanting Harleys? Or should Harley invest more to produce more motorcycles? Those questions make them decide to do the marketing research. Secondary data revealed that most of their buyers purchase other transportation such as SUV, cars, and trucks. Focus groups also revealed that Harley is not their primary transportation. That means Harley were not used as their main, but not for recreation only. Specifically, these questions. One of the research questions is, can Harley buyers be segmented based on their psychographic characteristic? And the following hypotheses are: there are distinct segments of buyers. Each segment is motivated to own Harley for different reasons, and brand loyalty is high among all segments. This research was guided by the theory that the brand loyalty is a result of positive beliefs, attitude, affect, and experience with the brand itself. Therefore, after gain the research results, we can conduct or design the customer demographic and psychographic characteristic. So then, the company can predict what kind of step they will take next.
Okay, the next topic is environmental content of the problem. To understand the background marketing research problem, the researchers must understand the client, firm, and industry. These several factors encompassing the environmental content of the problem. First, past information and forecasts pertaining the industry and the firm. Second, results and constraints the firm. Third, objectives of decision maker. Fourth, buyer behavior. Fifth, legal environment. Sixth, economic environment. And the last seven, marketing and technical skill. Next, linkage between management decision problem and the marketing research problem. With a conceptual map, there are three components. First, management wants to or take an action. Second, therefore we should study or the topic. Third, so we can explain or the questions. Defining marketing research problem. Like we see the figure. Marketing research problem have broad statement and specific statement. Broad statement provides perspective on the problem and acts as a safeguard against committing the second type of the error. The specific component focus on the aspect of the problem and provide clear guidelines on how to proceed further, thereby reducing the likelihood of the first type of error. Example of a problem marketing research problem definitions follow. Next, after gaining adequate understanding and environmental context of the problem, the researchers can define management decision problem and the marketing research problem. To understand, marketing research should be defined. This is distinction and link at the marketing research problem and the management decisions problem. First, these distinctions are: the management decision problems asks the decision makers need to do. Meanwhile, the marketing research problem asks what information is needed and how it should be obtained. Next, management decision problem is action oriented. Meanwhile, marketing research problem is information oriented. Next, management decision problem focus on symptoms. Meanwhile, the marketing research problem focus on the underlying causes. Next topic, component of approach. There are 5 components. First, objective or a theoretical framework. In general, research should be based on objective evidence and supported by theory. Second, analytical model. There are 3 models. First, verbal models, graphical models, and mathematical models. Third, research questions. Research questions are defined statements of specific component of the problem. Fourth, hypothesis. Hypothesis is an unproven statement or proposition
about a factor of phenomenon that is of interest to the researchers. The last, specification of information needed. By focusing on each component of the problem and the analytical framework and the models, the researcher's question and the hypothesis helpful to carry out this exercise for each component of the problem and make list specifying all the information that should be collected.
First of all, research design definition. Research design is a framework or blueprint for conducting the marketing research project. It details the procedure necessary for obtaining the information needed to structure or solve marketing research problem. Classification research design. There are two classifications as you see. First, exploratory research. The primary objective of exploratory research is to provide insight into and an understanding of the problem confronting the researcher. Exploratory research is used in cases when you must define the problem more precisely. Second, conclusive research. Conclusive research is typically more formal and structured than exploratory research. It is based on large representative samples and the data obtained are subject to quantitative analysis. Let's compare between exploratory research, descriptive research, and causal research. First, exploratory research. The objective of exploratory research is to explore or search through a problem or situation to provide insight and understanding. Exploratory research is characterized by flexibility and versatility with respect to the method because formal research protocol and procedures are not employed. Second, descriptive research. The major objective of descriptive research is to describe something, usually market characteristic or function. In fact, a major difference between exploratory and descriptive research is that descriptive research is characterized by the prior formulation of specific hypotheses. Thus, the information needed is clearly defined. As a result, descriptive research is pre-planned and structured. It is typically based on large representative samples. In descriptive research, there are two designs. First, the cross-sectional, and second, longitudinal design. Cross-sectional study is the most frequently used descriptive design in marketing research. Cross-sectional design involves the collection of information from any given sample of population element on launch. In cross-sectional, there are single cross-sectional and multiple cross-sectional. Single cross-sectional, only one sample of respondent is drawn from the target population, and information is obtained from the sample on launch. These designs are also called sample survey research design. Second, multiple cross-sectional. There are two or more samples of respondents, and information from each sample is obtained on launch. Often, information from different samples is obtained at different times over long intervals. In longitudinal design, a fixed sample of population element is measured repeatedly on the same variable. A longitudinal design differs from a cross-sectional design in that the sample or sample remain the same over time. Sometimes we call longitudinal design through panel or panel. Through panel or panel is used interchangeably with the term longitudinal design. A panel consists of a sample of respondents, generally households, that have agreed to provide information at specific intervals over an extended period. Relative advantage and disadvantage of longitudinal and cross-sectional design. A major advantage of longitudinal design over the cross-sectional design is the ability to detect change at the individual. Cross-sectional data can mislead researchers about change over time. Longitudinal data enable researchers to examine change in the behavior of individual units and to link behavioral change to marketing variables, such as change in advertising, packaging, pricing, and distribution. Another advantage of panel is that relatively large amount of data can be collected. Yet another advantage is that panel data can be more accurate than cross-sectional data. A typical cross-sectional survey requires the respondent to recall past purchase and behavior. This data can be inaccurate because of memory lapses. The main disadvantage of panel is that they may be not representative. Non-representativeness may arise because of first, refusal to cooperate, second, mortality, third, payment. And another disadvantage of panel is response bias.
Causal research. Causal research is used to obtain evidence of causal relationships. Here's a picture. We can see a comparison of basic research design. Here we can see objective characteristics and methods between exploratory, descriptive, and causal differences. Next, causal research is appropriate for the following purpose. First is to understand which variable is the cause, independent variable, and which variable is the effect, dependent variable of a phenomenon. Second, to determine the nature of the relationship between the causal variable and the effect that will be predicted. Real research, Microsoft experimenting with usability. In the Microsoft experiment, the causal variable independent was the Office suite, which was manipulated to have 3 levels. The first one is Windows XP, the second 2003, and the last one is 2007. The influence variable dependent was ease of use, ability to enhance the experience of computers users. Next slide is source of potential error. The total error is the variation between the true average value in the population of the variable of interest and the observed average value obtained in a marketing research project. Here we can see the picture of potential sources of error in research design. The first one is total error, adding on the random sampling error and non-sampling error. The non-sampling error divides more response error and non-response error, and response error divided into 3. And so moving on, the explanation of random sampling error is the variation between the actual mean values for the population and the actual mean values for the original sample. Next is non-sampling error. Non-sampling error, including errors in problem definition, approach, scale, questionnaire design, interview methods, and data preparation and analysis. Non-response error are defined as the variation between the true mean values of the variables in the original sample and the true mean values in the clean sample. Next one is response error. Error response can be made by researchers, interviewers, or respondents. Mistakes made by researchers include first, surrogate information error. It can be defined as the variation between information needed for marketing research problems and information solved by researchers. Next one is measurement error. Can be defined as the variation between the information solved and the information produced by the measurement process used by researchers. Next one is population definition error. Can be defined as the variation between the actual population relevant to the problem at hand and the population as defined by the researcher. Next one is sampling frame error. Can be defined as the variation between the population determined by the researchers and the population is as implied by the sampling frame. Data analysis error includes errors that occur when raw data from the questionnaire is converted into research findings. Next one is respondent selection error. Occurs when the interviewer chooses respondents other than those determined by the sampling design or in a way that is not consistent with the sampling design. Next one is questioning error. Indicates mistakes made in asking questions to respondents or not investigating when more information is needed. Recording error arises due to errors in hearing, interpreting, and recording answers given by respondents. Cheating error appears when the interviewer makes up answers to part or all of the interview, mostly cheating. Next one is inability error. The results of the inability of respondents to provide accurate answers. Respondents can give inaccurate answers due to ignorance, fatigue, boredom, memory errors, question format, question content, and other factors. Next one is unwillingness error. Arises because of the inability of respondents to provide accurate answers. Respondents can deliberately report their answers because of desire to provide socially acceptable answers, avoid embarrassment, or please the interviewer. Budgeting and scheduling the project. Budgeting and scheduling help ensure that marketing research projects are completed in available resources such as finance, time, personnel, and others. A useful approach to managing projects is the critical path method, or CPM, which involves dividing the research project into component activities, determining the order of these activities, and estimating the time needed for each activity. The advanced version of CPM, or critical path method, is a program that evaluate and review technique, or PRT, which is a probability-based scheduling approach that recognizes and measures the uncertainty of project completion times. More advanced scheduling techniques are graphical evaluation and review techniques, or simply as JERC, that both the probability of completion and the cost of activities can be built in the network representation. Next slide, we have marketing research proposal. The marketing research proposal contains the essence of the project and serves as a contract between researchers and management. Most proposals discuss all steps of the marketing research process and contain the following elements. First is executive summary. The proposal must start with a summary of the main points from each of other sections, presenting an overview of all proposals. Second, background. The background of the problem. 3. Problem definition or research objectives. The problem statement, including the specific component, must be presented. 4 is approach to the problem. Identify research questions and hypotheses. 5. Research design. Information should be given to the following components. First, the type of the information to be obtained. Second, the method of administering the questionnaire, letter, telephone, personal, or electronic interview, and many more. Third, scaling technique. Fourth, the nature of the questionnaire. 5. Sampling pan and sample size. 6. Fieldwork or data collection, gathering data mostly. 7. Data analysis. The type of data analysis to be performed: simple cross tabulation, unvariate analysis, multivariate analysis, and how the results will be interpreted must be explained. 8. Reporting. The proposal must determine whether the intermediary report will be presented and at what stage, what will be the final report form, and where a formal presentation of the results will be made. 9. Cost and time. And 10 is attachment. Any statistical or other information that only interests a number of people must be included in the appendix.
The word statistics comes from the Latin status, which is associated with a country in the sense of political unity. This word was later entered in the English dictionary as state in the 18th century. Why does economics need statistics? To find out what needed statistics in the economic field, we will provide an overview relating to the question, can the statistics answer various issues related to management functions, such as the matter of producing a certain number of products in accordance with the marketing plan in the field as an initial step to introduce them in the market. When the amount of funds for limited production, where the products will be produced in advance if there are 2 or 3 kinds of products that are equally important. Taking decisions in the work system that will produce more efficient results. Confounding various variables related to the quantity of demand for a product.
Statistics is also very useful in economic and business related things such as productions, setting the quality standard, accounting, figure the relation between cost and production volume, and for marketing is to investigate the consumer preference. The definition of statistics itself is a method used in data collection and analysis to gain useful information. Observing all population were usually impossible. That's why statistics is important. According to the activity, statistic is differentiated as to descriptive statistic and inference statistic. And according to the method, statistic differentiate as parametric statistic and non-parametric statistic.
First, descriptive statistic. Descriptive statistic discuss way of collecting data, simplifying observational figure obtained by summarizing and presenting. Presentation of data in descriptive statistic is usually with the form of graph, diagram, etc. Second, interference statistic. Interference statistic discuss how to analyze data and draw conclusions. Also called inductive statistic because conclusions are based on only a part of the data, or we call sample. Then parametric statistic. Parametric statistic is interferential statistic section that consider the value of one or more population parameters. Parametric statistics require data that have a minimum interval measurement scale. The last is non-parametric statistics. Non-parametric statistics is the statistical section of interference data that does not pay attention to the value of one or more population parameters. Data needed is nominal or ordinal measurement scale.
I'm going to explain about the population and sample in Del Gibson book. The population in statistics can be animals and whatever objects we pay attention to. Each individual is called an element of population, which means the whole unit or individual in the scope of interest to be studied. The number of observation is called population size. Population size is distinguished between limited populations and unlimited populations. Examples of limited populations are the employee population at CIBII Jakarta, if not limited to the population of pest plants around the world. If we can observe the entire individual members of the population, we will get parameters. The parameter is a stable value because it is obtained from observation of all members of the population. Next slide, some members of the population that are taken according to certain procedures so that they can represent the population are called samples. The use of certain procedures in conducting sampling is based on following considerations. First one is to obtain data relevant to the purpose of observation. Second is some variations are unavoidable even if observations are made under similar conditions. The variations that arise are due to the differences in the value of the individual characteristic measured, also due to errors in measurement. Next slide, last slide is a value that describes the characteristics of a sample is called a statistic. Whereas statistics is a science which, among others, learns how to determine an estimator statistic for a parameter, then draws conclusions about the parameter. The population is divided into the target populations and the sample population, or as known as sampling population. The target population is the whole individual in the area, region, location in accordance with the research objectives. The sample population is the whole individual who will be the unit of analysis and is a population that is suitable and in accordance with the sample framework to be made or drawn as research sample. The sample frame is the entire list of individuals in the population and will be sampled to become units of analysis. That's all in Dar Gibson.
Validity, reliability, univariate analysis, and bivariate analysis. So, the step-by-step for use SPSS. First, prepare statistical data to be analyzed and arrange data in Microsoft Office to make it easy processing in SPSS like this. In here we have a 9 equation and 50 respondent. So let's open SPSS application. Next, copy paste the data in Microsoft Excel move to SPSS application like this. Next, click variable view and click values label like that to analyze data, and then back to data view for analyze validity. Click analyze scale and reliability data, and move all of variable from left to the right, and then click OK. And this is about validity. Next, to reliability analyze, click analyze and scale. Next, reliability analysis, and then move all of a variable and click OK. Oh yeah, please make sure the model in reliability analysis is alpha. Okay, and this is the reliability statistic result. Next, to univariate analysis, click analyze and descriptive statistic and frequencies. In here, you checklist mean, median, mode, etc. And then click OK. And this is a one by one variable. And next, to bivariate analysis, click descriptive analysis and next cross tabs. And then independent variable to the row and independent to the column. And next, don't forget to checklist chi-square, and this is the result about cross tab. And after all of finish, just copy paste from SPSS to the Microsoft Word. Thank you.